Hi friends, Alicia here from Malinka Yarncraft. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome, and I am so glad you found me. In today's video, I am going to show you how to crochet the mini bean stitch, also known as the Elizabeth stitch. This is a relatively easy stitch. It is a one row repeat and creates a reversible fabric with a very pretty texture. It is one of my favorite stitches because it is so versatile. You can use it for household items, clothing, accessories, you name it. So I am going to be using a medium weight cotton yarn and a 5mm hook for this tutorial. Okay, so let's get started. So for this pattern, we're going to need to chain any multiple of 2, so any even number. I'm going to start with a slip knot, and then we're going to chain any even number, and for this tutorial I'm going to make a small sample and I'm going to chain 12. Right. There are a few different variations of this stitch that you can find out there, and the main difference between them is how we start and end each row. I will show you the variation where we start and end each row in a single crochet. I think that it gives it a little bit straighter edges and it's a bit easier to remember the pattern. Alright, so we're going to start with a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So the one on our hook never counts, so we're going to count from our hook 1, 2. So go ahead and place one single crochet into that second chain. Here we go. Now we're going to skip one chain, and into the next one we're going to work our very first mini bean stitch. To work the mini bean stitch, we're going to insert our hook into that designated chain, so skip one and into that next one. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. We have 2 loops on our hook. Now we're going to yarn over, go into the same chain, so insert your hook into the same chain, yarn over and pull up another loop. Now that we have 4 loops on our hook, we're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. And we've made our first mini bean stitch. After every mini bean stitch, we're going to chain 1. So go ahead and chain 1 here. Next, we're going to skip one chain, and into the next chain, we're going to work another mini bean stitch. So let's do it again together. So insert your hook into that next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, insert your hook into the same chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. We have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 4. So we have to chain 1 here. We're going to be chaining 1 after every mini bean stitch. So we're going to repeat this pattern until we have 2 chains left. So let's work a couple more together. We're going to skip one chain into the next one, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook into the same chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, 4 loops on hook, yarn over, pull through all 4. Go ahead and chain 1 and repeat. Skip 1, work 1 mini bean stitch into the next chain. And chain 1. Now that we have 2 chains left, we're going to skip one, and into the very last chain we're going to work 1 single crochet. So we started and we ended our row with a single crochet, and we worked mini bean stitches in between. And this is the end of row 1. We're going to start working on row 2 now. Before we start row 2, I want to take a moment and look at the top of this row. So if you look at the top, every mini bean stitch and every chain will look like a stitch. So for the purposes of this pattern and this tutorial, I am going to refer to every single one of these V's here as a stitch. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stitches. Okay, we're going to refer to all of these as a stitch. Every single one of these is going to be referred to as a stitch. Okay, before we start row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn. This chain is not going to count as a stitch. Okay, so we're going to start row 2 by working 1 single crochet into the first stitch. So if you remember, I mentioned that we will refer to every single V as a stitch. So if you turn your work up this way, you will find that first stitch right there, right here. So we're going to work 1 single crochet into that very first stitch. Okay, now we're basically repeating the pattern we did in our first row. So we're going to skip this next stitch, and into the next stitch we're going to work a mini bean stitch, right? So if you look from the top, we're skipping this one, and then we're going to work into this next one. And if you look from the front, in order to get into that stitch, you will pull this mini bean stitch apart, and you can see that you have to insert your hook right there. Okay, again from the top, skip one, go into this one, and to go into this one, you can see that you have to pull this mini bean stitch apart a little bit. Okay, all right, so let's work a mini bean stitch in here. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, and pull up a loop. We have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, and pull through all 4 loops. Same way as we did in the first row, we're going to chain 1 after every mini bean stitch. All right, so now we're going to skip this next stitch and work 1 mini bean stitch into this next one. Okay, so from the top, skipping 1, working into the next one, right there. And from the front, you will see that you have to kind of go into the middle of that mini bean. Okay, so we're going to work another mini bean stitch. And we're going to repeat this pattern until the end of the row. So chain 1, skip 1, into the next stitch, work a mini bean stitch, chain 1, skip 1, into the next one, work a mini bean stitch, here we go. We still have to chain 1 after this one. Okay, we have 1 stitch left in this row, so we're going to work a single crochet into this very last stitch right there, and a single crochet. So we started the row with 1 single crochet, and we ended the row in 1 single crochet. This pattern is a 1 row repeat, so we're going to repeat this row 2 throughout the entire pattern, so for the desired length. So let's do 1 more row together. So we're going to repeat row 2. We'll chain 1 and turn into this very first stitch right there. We're going to work 1 single crochet. We're going to skip 1 and work a mini bean stitch into the next one. Okay, so we're skipping this one, and the next one is right here. Work a mini bean stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, work a mini bean into the next one. Oops. There we go. Chain 1, skip 1, work a mini bean stitch. Chain 1, skip one, work a mini bean stitch, chain one, and single crochet into the very last stitch. Here we go, and this is all there is to this pattern. And you will see how after a while you'll have these little puff stitches that are slanted and they're going in different directions in each row, and then you will have this beautiful pattern after you work a few more rows. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and tap that subscribe button. I would love to see you back here, and I would love to hear from you, so make sure to drop a comment below. Have fun with this stitch, and I hope to see you back here soon.